If you're over the age of 50 and you're hoping to gain some muscle mass, then stick around because in this video I'm going to show you exactly how to do that with a simple barbell routine. If you don't know who I am, my name is Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today I'm going to be revealing a simple barbell routine for ages 50 plus to help you gain some more muscle. Now I'm going to show you the exercises in just a moment, but before I do, I just need to let you know that these are not going to be suitable for everyone. Please do get checked out by your doctor before you start any new routine. And if the exercises cause you any pain, then just avoid them. Anyway, let's have a look at the exercises now. Today I'm going to show you 5 of the best barbell exercises for people over the age of 50. Now, these exercises are all going to require a barbell. Obviously, this isn't a barbell, this is a stick, but it represents the barbell, and because it's small, it allows me to show it from different angles. But a barbell is obviously a weight bar that you can put weights on either end of. Now, if you don't have access to a barbell, we've got other videos on the channel which show you how to strengthen all of the same muscle groups using either your body weight, which requires no equipment, or dumbbells, or other pieces of equipment as well, like resistance bands. So have a look through the channel if this doesn't work for you. But if you have access to a barbell, preferably one that you can put different weights on, although the fixed ones work really well, then this is going to be a great video for you. And the first exercise we're going to do is called the front squat. Now, this is the only exercise that requires another piece of kit as well, which would be a squat rack, which you find in most gyms. Basically, it's just a place that you can put your barbell onto hooks, which means it's already up here. So when you take it off the hooks, you can start, you don't have to get it up from the floor. Because the front squat requires a little bit of a complicated setup. Now, for the front squat to work, you're going to start off with the barbell hanging on the squat rack like this. You're going to walk in towards it and you're going to have it touching your chest like this. Then you're going to put your arms across your chest here. So this would be your starting position, and before you take the barbell off the rack, you have your arms in position here, holding the barbell close to your chest at about the height of your collarbones. And once it's there, you're going to take it off the rack, so you're supporting it now using your arms, your shoulders, and your body like this. You're going to slightly lift your elbows up here so the barbell is balanced. Your hands aren't really doing anything other than just keeping it in place. And then we're going to do a squatting movement. So to do the squatting movement, you're going to keep your back straight. You're going to sink down into the squat like this, only as far as you feel you can before you hit your limits of mobility, and then you're going to come back up to the top, and that's 1 repetition. So the movement is 2 stages really. You're pushing your hips out and bending your knees at the same time, and you're sinking down into the squat like this without rounding your spine. Now, you might be thinking, well, I can't go down that far, and that really doesn't matter. You can do small squats like this. This is absolutely fine, particularly if you're just getting started, and it really helps your posture, because obviously you're having to work quite hard to keep your back straight even as you sink down like this. But really the main areas of the body that are being worked by the front squat are your quads and your glutes. So to show you from behind, the exercise would look like this. You're sinking down into the squat. You can see my back is straight, it's not rounding, and then coming back up like this. There's no side to side movement. It's just a straight up and down using the bar as some resistance. When you're finished with the exercise, you've done enough, you can feel your quads burning because you've worked them hard. You're going to walk back into the rack, put the barbell back onto the rack, and once it's safely there, then you can step away again. So that's the first great barbell exercise. It's the only one of these that requires a rack. Hopefully that's going to be useful for you as a first one. So the first barbell exercise we used worked the quads and the glutes. And this second one is now going to work the other side of the leg, working the hamstrings, and it does also do a little bit of your glutes as well. We call this the Romanian Deadlift, or the RDL for short, and it's one of my favorite exercises for strengthening the back half of the body. So to make this exercise work, you're going to stand with your barbell touching your legs like this. You've got your hands like this, so the knuckles are pointing forward, the fingers are pointing back towards you, and the barbell is going to stay in contact with your legs the whole time. Now the exercise is super simple. We're going to take a very slight bend in the knee, probably just 5 or 10 degree bend, And then we're just going to start to bend forward, keeping the back straight, pushing your bottom out behind you, keeping the bar in contact with the legs and sliding the bar down the legs until we can't go any further. And the thing that should be stopping us here is the hamstrings. These muscles at the back of the thigh. Now I can feel a stretch in my hamstrings. I can't really go any further, and then I'm just going to bring it back up to the starting position and stop. Simple as that. So keep the bar in contact with the legs, slide it down the legs, stick your bottom out, keep your back nice and straight. Just a very slight bend in the knee just to take the stress off the sciatic nerve. And then hold there for just a couple of seconds, then come back up. So if I was doing this with a proper tempo, I'd be going down like this, nice and slow, maybe hold for 1 to 2, and then straight back up again. And then down nice and slow. So we're slower on the way down, just 1 to 2 seconds in that stretched position, and then we're coming back up again. And it's a fantastic exercise for the back half of the body. As with all of these exercises, I would work somewhere between 10 and 20 repetitions in a row, 3 sets of each, probably 1 to 2 minutes rest in between sets. Fantastic way to build your program, and should, with these exercises, strengthen the entirety of the body in probably about 30 minutes. The next barbell exercise for over 50s who want to gain muscle that I'm going to recommend today is the bent over row. And this is a great exercise if it's done correctly and it strengthens all of the muscles of the back. It's a super exercise, but we just have to make sure the technique is good, because sometimes I see people doing this exercise incorrectly. Now the setup for this exercise is very similar to the RDL. So we're going to stand with the bar touching our legs like this to begin with our knuckles facing forward and fingers facing backwards. We're going to slightly bend the knee and we're going to go down into that half RDL position and just allow the weight to just slightly come off the legs. This is our start position here. Now the exercise is really simple. All we're going to do, without using our lower back to jerk us upwards, we're just going to pull the bar upwards until it touches our tummy. You really want to kind of push it into your tummy, and by doing that you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then you're just letting the bar go back out again. And up, squeeze, and back out again. And up, squeeze, and back out again. And up, squeeze, and back out again. Now if you're doing this exercise correctly, you want to have a bit of a squeeze here and a slow eccentric phase to drop it back down here like this. Even with quite a light weight, you're probably only going to be able to get 10 to 20 repetitions before you start to feel all the muscles around here really start to switch on and to work. You'll get that nice working ache. You don't need to use a ton of weight to do this exercise. I see people loading up the bar with tons of weight and they're kind of jerking themselves up like this, and on the way back down after you've jerked yourself back up, that's when you're going to get trouble with your lower back if you aren't careful with this exercise. So we need a light weight, a more controlled movement, a pause here and a slow eccentric, and then it has very low risk of injury. If you're jerking with your lower back because you want to lift a heavier weight, that's when the injury risk goes up exponentially. So keep it light, keep the technique amazing, less or more repetitions, less weight, and that's how you make the bent over row very, very safe. To show you from the front, it looks something like this. We're just sinking down here. Both arms are pulling at the same time. We're getting a squeeze at the shoulder blades here. I'm going to show you from behind as well so you can see what's happening with my back. We pull up and squeeze like this and then slowly back down. And then up again, squeeze, and then back down. Now a side note, something I've learned doing this exercise, I used to do it like this with my head up, and then I learned that I was actually engaging my upper traps more and I was risking a neck strain, which happened a couple of times when I was doing this. So now I let my head drop down, so I'm just looking directly ahead at the floor, probably about 3 feet ahead, and that's taken all the stress off the upper traps. So if you're in a gym and you've got a mirror in front of you, it can be tempting to look at the mirror to look at your technique. Try not to do that, okay? Bring your eyes down further forward and you'll take the stress off your neck. Before we go any further, I just want to tell you about a very special bonus I've created for viewers of this channel. It's called the Complete Guide to Building Muscle and Strength over the age of 50. And if you're someone who is a little bit confused about how to go about starting the process of building muscle and strength, you don't know what equipment to use or what exercises to choose, this is perfect for you. It's an exclusive 25-minute video that you can't find anywhere else, where I teach you all the ins and outs of building muscle and strength specific for people over the age of 50. So it's one of the best things I've created. I'm giving it totally for free to viewers of this channel. All you need to do is scroll down below this video. There's a link in the description where you can sign up. I'll send you the video straight away and you can get started. It's some of my best info, and if you use it, I hope you will. The fourth barbell exercise I'm going to show you today is the military press. And the military press is an exercise for your shoulders and the muscles at the back of the arm called the triceps. And it's a brilliant way to improve the strength and the muscle around these areas. So again, setup is going to be the same. We're going to stand with the bar like this to begin with, touching the legs. Now the setup, to get to your start position, we have to go from here to here, okay? So how you do that is up to you. You can do it with a bit of a help from the legs, like that. If you have access to the squat rack, obviously you can just take it straight off the rack and you're ready to go, but it's absolutely fine to do it like this. And again, if you're doing this exercise correctly, you don't need a ton of weight, so you should be able to take it from here to here without too much trouble, okay? So this is where we start like this, and you can see that the bar is just down slightly above my collarbones, definitely below my chin as a starting position. I'm going to squeeze my buttocks together. That's really important to stabilize your lower back, so squeeze the bum. You might want to pull your tummy in a little bit as well, just to switch the core on, and then we're going to push the bar up overhead and then very slowly bring it back down, making sure we clear the head. So again, we're going to go up, keep the bum squeezed, and then come down just below the chin. And up, keep the bum squeezed, and down just below the chin. Now, one thing I'm being careful not to do is to strain my neck as I push up. And as we start to get tired, those last few repetitions, it can be tempting to push the head or pop the head forward. Try and keep your chin in and keep your head back and keep that neck relaxed, so it is just the shoulders and the arms doing the work. And that's how we get a really nice engagement of the shoulders without, again, straining the neck. And because you've got your bum squeezed, you're not going to get too much stress on your lower back because the glutes are doing the protection there. If you're completely relaxed in your glutes and you're pushing up overhead, you can kind of hinge at your lower back, which isn't that great, especially when you've got a weight up overhead. So technique here is absolutely key. You don't need a heavy weight. Work up to higher repetitions if you're over 50. It just seems to be safer. I would work up to sets of between 10 and 20 reps rather than doing the heavier weights for lower reps. That would be my recommendation anyway. And then do 3 sets of that for best results. I'm going to show you from the side. So we start up like this. Again, squeeze the bum, pull the tummy in, and then keep the chin tucked back up to the top. And again, slowly back down. So the tempo would be 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 on the way down. So 1, 2 up, 1, 2, 3 on the way down. And all your repetitions should look more or less the same. You shouldn't start to get dodgy technique the further through the set you go. If that's happening, something's not quite right. So hopefully that is a great exercise for your shoulders, and we've got one more to show you to strengthen your arms. The final exercise I'm going to show you today is the barbell curl. And this is an exercise, it's an isolation exercise actually, just really for the biceps, but it's a good way to finish your workout, and it will get you strength at the front of the arm rather than just the back. It's also a really easy exercise. Most people know how to do it, but I'm going to show you a couple of tweaks to make it even more effective. So to make this exercise work, this time you're going to pick up your dumbbell, or your barbell, sorry, with your fingers now facing forward and your knuckles facing towards you. And most people often do the barbell curl like this. They have their arms by their sides, and this is how they do it. But there's a couple of issues with that. And personally, when I do it, I don't feel it in the target muscle as well as when I make a very slight tweak, which is to just slightly bring my elbows forward and really dig them into the side of my body. So I've gone from here to here, okay? So my elbows are just in front of me, not by much, and they're being wedged into my body like this. And the next thing I want you to do is try and cock your wrists just ever so slightly. So bringing the fingers up a little bit towards you, and then start your curl, keeping your elbows in. And we want the tempo to be similar to the other exercises. So we're nice and quick on the way up, 1, 2, and nice and slow on the way down. Maybe a whole 4 seconds to get down. Now, when I do it like this, or when most people do it like this, you have to drop the weight. You can't use as much weight because you're really isolating the target muscle. But your goal here is to gain muscle size. It's not just to lift as much weight as possible. You want to actually stimulate the target muscle, which means it pays to drop a little bit of weight and improve the technique, which is exactly what we're doing with this. So again, wedge the elbows in, cock the wrists and bring it up, and then slowly back down. Again, it might help to squeeze your bum, squeeze your glutes together at the back just to stabilize your back. And then I'll show you this way. As a side note, one of the best things about dropping the weight down is the fact that you're going to minimize stress on your connective tissue. So on your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, all of the things that we don't really want to stress when we're doing resistance training, we minimize the stress on those by not lifting really heavy weights, and we maximize the stress on the muscle, which is the tissue we do want to stress. So that's why I also recommend doing more repetitions for over 50s rather than less, because again, less connective tissue stress because the weights required are lower. But overall, you should finish with a really nice burn in the biceps, not much elbow pain, not much shoulder pain. That means you're on a great track. 3 sets of that with 1 to 2 minutes rest in between, and that is a full body workout with a barbell that will hopefully help you gain some muscle. So that's my favorite barbell muscle gain routine for ages 50 plus. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please do consider sharing it with a friend or a family member who might find it useful, because that's how this channel grows, and I'll be really thankful to you if you did that. And if you want to let us know what you thought of the video, then do drop a comment below. We do read all the comments and they do help us to improve the channel, so thank you if you do drop one down there. And if you want to get more from me, you can pick up a copy of my book, which has got loads more exercises like the ones in this video inside. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you again on the next video.